Hey guys, Zane Drummer. So last time we talked about key and what key is, and most specifically major, and the difference between major and minor, and how those key relationships work within their melodies and their harmonies. But today I want to talk about secondary dominance. Secondary dominance. Well, let's go into it. So say you're in the key of G major. Well, when you're in the key of G major, the notes that make up the key of G major are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. We call that the leading tone. Back to G. Okay, so that would be the key of G major. Alright, so the chords inside G major are major 1, A minor, B minor, minor 3, major 4, C, major 5, D, minor 6, E minor, this is called diminished 7, F sharp diminished, and G. So all I did was I just built a chord on each chord tone of the scale of the key. So those are what we call diatonic, when you take chords and you put them in the order in which they work inside the key. Okay, so what a dominant is the 5. So tonic is the 1 chord. So in this case, tonic is G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The dominant chord would be the D chord. This is very important. As a musician, you should memorize all your tonic and dominant relationships. So G to D is a tonic to dominant relationship, or 1 chord to 5 chord relationship. Now the reason this is important is because the 5 chord takes you, and the 7 chord take you back to the 1 chord. And as we know, music is all about tension and release. Okay, especially classical. So what a secondary dominant is when you take that dominant function, but you go to its dominant. So if we're in G major, our dominant chord is D major, but its dominant, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is A major. Now the important thing here is that in A major, we have a C sharp. Why is that important? I'm flipping you guys off. Why is that important? Because in G, you don't have a C sharp. You have a C natural. So if you were looking at a piece of music and all of a sudden you come across an A major chord with a C sharp, well, that doesn't belong in G. A minor belongs in G diatonically. So when you see this A major chord pop out of nowhere, you ultimately should start thinking, maybe I have a secondary dominant here. Because if we're in the key of G, we go to the dominant, back to G. Might go to the 4 chord, dominant, minor 6, back to 1. But if we get an A, now we're trying to change key. Because this is a dominant relationship to D. So 5 of 5 means if you're in the key of G, this is 1, D is 5, A is the 5 of that 5, the dominant of your 5 chord. Basically, it's how we can modulate to the dominant. So anytime, like say you're in C, the dominant of C would be, that's right, G, yep. So its dominant would be, we just talked about it, D. So if you're in the key of C and you're jamming out, and all of a sudden you get a D major, now I just made the actual key G. So this is how composers modulate. They take your ear away from the key you're in that you've established. They use the secondary dominant to get to whatever the new key is. Okay? Basically, if you start to see accidentals in your music, say you're in the key of C and you start to see F sharps, well, then you can automatically think, or a major 2 chord, you can automatically understand that you're probably going to have a 5 of 5 relationship